Hello everyone, this is Matthew Meckes, the star of Civic Theatre of Allentown's production of Next to Normal. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing well, Corbin.
Excellent. I'm doing very, very well. I get to see you. It's been a very long time.
It has.
Yeah.
When's the last time I saw you?
FST.
January 2011. 2012.
2012, yeah.
Wow.
The day you left was the day my car broke down. The engine busted and everything just went to crap. And I knew once Meckes left, it would just never be the same. Enough talking about the past. Let's talk about the present. You're currently in Next to Normal right now, and this is not the first time you've done Next to Normal production.
No.
You were one of the keyboard players at FST, and I wanted to know, what is it like to approach this musical from both a musician's perspective and an actor's perspective?
Well, I mean, I guess there's a lot of differences, obviously, since for one you're playing music and one you're acting. I don't know, I think the challenges are unique for each. Like, being a musician in the pit was more of a focus on being that director sort of role, and you know, as an actor, I feel like I can not necessarily take a back seat, but I can not stress about that sort of thing.
Right.
Obviously, there's the role that needs to be done, but I think, you know, in a lot of ways, it's the same. Really, it's the same kind of process. You know, there's obvious differences, but the show itself moves you regardless. It's, you know, whether you're in the pit or whether you're on the stage, it seems like it has the same effect, you know, so that might be a testament to the piece itself.
Right.
But I'd say, yeah, it's not, I wouldn't separate the two experiences. They were certainly different, but this has been a lot of fun, I guess. Not that FST's production wasn't fun for me, but this has been fun, again, in that way that I'm not stressed about, you know, worrying, are the people on stage doing what they need to be doing, and are we syncing up with them? And I think a lot of times people don't see that it can be stressful in the pit, because if you get off by a beat, or an actor or somebody gets off by a beat, you go into a panic for a moment, and you sort of like take out all the stops. You're like, okay, we gotta skip a measure, we gotta do this. So that's it's just a different skill set. So it's been neat to, especially on this particular show, to exercise both.
Interesting, because it sounds like being in the pit, you take on more of a, I guess not necessarily a leadership role, but in a certain way you do, because you're overseeing everything that happens, whereas when you're acting in the piece, when you're just playing Gabe, not to say that you're just playing Gabe, but you know, you're focused on this one singular thing. It's like, you know, what is Gabe doing in the moment? How is he interacting with whatever characters are on stage? And then the music just happens to
As well as an actor, there's that through line. You have a story to tell, and as a musician, you have a story to tell, but it's more convoluted, I guess, than it is as an actor, where you have words. As a musician, you don't have words, so you have to go on that journey with the actor without the help of the language. So that's what makes, I think, being in the pit difficult, because you have to be emotionally invested in the piece without actually living the piece out the way that the actors are. So that's why I feel like as an actor it's almost a little bit easier, because it's all in the book for you, you know. It's really just a matter of getting up on stage and bringing it to life. But as a musician, it's you know, interpreting really a foreign language into something that's accessible for a broad audience base. So
I like that. So which do you like more, the musician aspect of it or the actor aspect?
I can't say I like one more than the other. I love both. I like both equally. I think they both provide unique perspectives on the show. And obviously, when I was in the pit, I was able to watch the show every single time, and so that gave me an appreciation for it. And now being in it gives me the other appreciation that I didn't get from being in the pit, that I could be on stage and experience the story.
Excellent. Do you think, having played the keyboard part in it first, do you think that helped you? Did that add anything to the role for you that you think may not have come?
Well, it helped a lot, because the score, if you know the show, the score is intense, you know, both as a musician and as a vocalist. So I was thankful, because, you know, knowing the music coming into it was like a huge learning curve, I guess, you know, that I didn't have to deal with. Some of the people that came in didn't know the show at all, and
wow,
I couldn't imagine. I mean, they've done an amazing job of learning the show, but, you know, obviously it's, you find yourself inundated by projects and various things you're doing. So I was thankful that I knew the show already and could kind of walk in. And that doesn't mean that I, you know, could perform the music on day one.
Right.
I still tried to approach it as though I had never heard the music before, because it was a different music director, it was a different theater, and, you know, I have to not use my preconceived notions of what the show should be, or what I think it sounds like in my head, and sort of mold myself into what they're looking for.
I think it's really good that you point that out, because especially with a show that has been on Broadway, like Next to Normal, you know, there are so many people who have read the script, listened to the soundtrack over and over and over again, and they have an idea of how it's supposed to sound. And so in addition to that, you have already been in a production of it where you've got an idea of, like, this is how everyone has done the role in the past, and it can be very hard to separate yourself from that. But I was impressed, because you don't have the voice that the actor Aaron Tveit, who originated the role of Gabe.
No one has his voice.
No one has his voice. It's just like, it's godly. It's this like super high rock tenor.
It's big shoes to fill.
It is. But I was thoroughly impressed with the way that you were able to use your voice to fill the role in a way that was uniquely Matt Meckes.
It's all I ever do.
It's all you ever do. It's all you ever do. It's all you ever can do.
Uniquely me. Well, you know, it's the idea that I take the approach, and I tell this to people when I'm coaching and I'm music directing, is that don't learn the song the way someone else has performed it. If you need somewhere to start as a guideline, it's totally okay to listen to a cast recording to get yourself familiar with the piece. But at some point, you need to take the time to learn the notes, learn the piece as written. Because what a lot of people don't realize is that the people you're listening to had to go through that same process. So when you're listening to a Broadway recording, they didn't just get up one day and sing that song that way. They learned the tune note by note, sung it that way, as close and as perfect as possible, and then from there they started to mold and figure out phrasing and all those articulations that, and riffs and what have you, that people try to throw in. And so that's, for me, that's the most important thing. Don't skip steps 1 through 11 and jump right to 12 when the people that have come before you have had to go through steps 1 through 11. They didn't do it for you. You have to do it yourself, even if it's a musical that's been done over and over and over again. So that's my advice.
Nice. Excellent. Magical words from Matt Meckes. Alrighty, well, we're gonna move on to the rest of your interview, but I do want to let everybody know, if you're in the Allentown area, check out Civic Theater's production of Next to Normal, running until now, to May 19th, correct?
Yep.
May 19th. I'm sure I'll post a little link right here. Something like that. It's a work in progress.